What is up, everybody? I'm Shane Salinutri, and this is another episode of PlaySqorrTV. Today we are joined with professional handball player and member of the USA men's national team, Ty Reed. Ty, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Shane. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, handball is in the news in America, something you don't see very often. Ty, I want to talk to you about this because the guys on Barstool had an interview with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler said, with the right people, he can win a gold medal in team handball. Got over to ESPN. Bomani Jones said the same thing, and he agreed with all the things that Jay Cutler talked about. You're on the national team. You played D1 college football for Alabama. You won 2 national championships. I don't think there's a better person to talk to on this subject. What are your initial thoughts?
All right. So initial thoughts are, one, I'm stoked that handball is on TV in America. It usually only happens, during the Olympics, the only time Americans have a chance to really talk about handball. So one, I was stoked that they were talking about it on ESPN and part of my take. Huge Stoolie, by the way. I always listen to PMT, so it was nice to hear them talking about that. My second thought after I heard what they were saying was they're very misinformed about the sport and kind of what the possibilities for American athletes are.
Well, let's bring it back a little bit. For all the people out there, I'm sure we have a lot of viewers that we're talking about handball and they think we're talking about a big cement wall whacking a rubber ball. This is not the handball. Give me your best way to explain handball for someone that's never seen the sport before.
So what I usually try and say is it's like water polo. It looks like water polo, but played on a basketball court with the physicality of lacrosse. It's a very physical, very fast-paced game with a lot of scoring, and the object is similar to water polo where you're jumping and shooting a ball into a goal against a goalie.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. What I want to ask you, how do you think a player like Jay Cutler, a former NFL guy, an NBA player, maybe a baseball player, how does that skill set transition over to handball? And how long do you expect it to take for someone that's never played the sport or watched it to actually learn and be able to compete at an Olympic level?
So lots of breakdown there. I can really only go off of what my experience was with the sport. So I started playing handball when I was 22 years old, 22, 23, so about 5 years ago, right? Like you said, I played football at Alabama. I played football my entire life, as well as basketball and baseball. So I was a well-rounded athlete. I was, I tried to take all those skills from that sport and convert them to handball. Now, it's a great foundation to have basketball, football, baseball, to have those skills, but handball is a very unique game. And the athleticism isn't really the problem. It's knowing the tactics of the game and making a positive result out of that. Now, the best skill set for me was definitely basketball. The movements and the one-on-one of handball are similar to basketball in that regard. But, like I said, the tactics and the overall scheme of the game couldn't be more further from any typical American sport that we're used to.
One of the things that Jay actually said was, give him LeBron, give him Patrick Mahomes, give him some random other guys, they're winning a gold medal with those 3 alone. It's called team handball, especially here in America for a reason. You got to pass the ball. Talk about this a little bit.
You take LeBron, Patrick Mahomes, Jay Cutler, and they're going to win a gold medal. That is absolutely bananas. There is no way that's going to happen. You guys put them on a court, and after what, 2 months of training, and think they're going to go win gold? There's absolutely no way. Now, these are some of the best athletes in the world. You look at LeBron James; he's probably the best athlete in the world. And if you put him and surround him with guys that know the sport, he could be a phenomenal dominant player, no doubt about it. Now, if you take, like Jay Cutler was saying, you take Jay, LeBron, Patrick Mahomes, 3 other scrubs that don't know how to play, they're going to lose by 30 to Argentina. It's not even going to be close.
Big Cat actually said, arm speed is nowhere near comparable in these other countries, which doesn't really make too much sense because these guys are throwing the handball up near 80 miles per hour. And it's a ball bigger, it's a miniature soccer ball, bigger than a baseball. The mechanics it's different than throwing a football, of course, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a quarterback in football. I was a pitcher in baseball. I've been throwing a ball my entire athletic career. The handball motion is so different, and also it's covered in a resin, so it's very sticky. And to get that handball to go as fast as you want to throw a handball very hard, it has to be like a whip motion, almost like a sidearm of a baseball, which is pretty unique. It's not very common in American sports. Now, those guys have cannons. Jay Cutler is one of the strongest arms to ever play football, right? If you teach him when and where to shoot the ball and how to shoot a handball, and you give him 8 months to figure it out, he can get out in the court, throw a couple passes, get the ball to him, and just rip from 10 meters and probably be successful. Now, it's going to take him a year to figure that out. He has to know when to shoot, how to shoot around defense, and then beating these 6'8" keepers that are in goal. Once you get past the defense, you still got to beat the goalie. And those goalies are some of the best players on the team. They may not look it because they wear these big baggy clothes, and like Jay Cutler said, they're just a bunch of old guys, right? Yeah, they're old, but they're experienced as hell. Those guys save everything. They know where you want to shoot, they know when you want to shoot, and they do not let those balls go in the net very easily.
A way I like to look at handball, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I come from a basketball background. Picture it if you're playing against very athletic European guys that have never played basketball in their life, and you're playing against them. That's pretty much what it would look like, correct?
And that's hilarious because we actually play basketball as a warm-up. I train with the professional team every once in a while here at Flensburg. The first team, like I said, they were the best. They're the best team in Germany, so it's very much comparing professionals to professionals. And these guys can't play basketball to save their lives. I'm running circles around because I've been playing my whole life. I'm crossing these guys up left and right because they don't know how to defend. I'm dribbling the ball and they're not used to it because we grew up in gyms. That's what we play is basketball. Well, it's the same thing for these guys. They've been playing handball since they're 6 years old, and they know more about the sport than anybody picking the game up in their mid-20s will ever know, including myself. It sucks for me. I've been over here 2 years now, and I'm a beginner compared to these kids because I don't have the knowledge and the experience that they do. Athletically, Americans in general are very much superior to the general European players that are playing handball. The athleticism is not what's in question. The tactics and the execution of the game, and the knowledge of the game couldn't be further apart. And that's what I think the guys on ESPN were missing. They think it's just Jay Cutler's going out there slinging the ball and scoring 40 goals a game. It's not going to happen. Final
question. You play D1 college football. You play pro now in Germany. How does the size of these athletes actually compare?
The size is actually really similar. You look at some of the left backs and the pivots that play in the Bundesliga or any of the professional leagues around Europe, and these guys are 6'7", 6'8". These are big boys out here playing. There's no joke. I don't know what the average of the left backs would be, but I don't think there's a left back that's in the Bundesliga that's under 6'5", 6'6". You take LeBron James 6'8", what is he, 280, whatever the hell he is, or Zion Williams. Imagine Zion at pivot. Listen, you give these guys a year and a half with some of the best coaching in the world, and you give them the same contracts they're making in the NBA, yeah, we'll win a gold medal. But to think they're going to run onto the handball court and be successful against these top teams, they're sorely mistaken.
That's the first thing I was thinking the entire time I was watching both these interviews. Bomani, Jay, get out on the handball court. Ty will teach you a couple things, and we'll put this sport in its place.
Yeah, listen, now I say this, I'm giving these guys a hard time because they're just unaware, they're not informed about the sport. Handball can be the most popular sport in America. And with the right funding and the right knowledge and with the right youth programs, there's not a doubt in my mind this could be a top sport in America. It's so much fun to watch, it's so much fun to play. And I really think the American athletes would adapt perfectly to the sport. So I love that they're talking about it. I think there's a real future in America for this sport, but yeah, it's going to take more than a couple months, Jay Cutler.
Jay, 2024 Olympic Games, 2028 in LA. Put your team together.
28 in LA, I know. They're making a big push. We have to send a team to represent in 2028 in LA, so that'll be awesome. I'll be about 36 then, so I'd love to still be kicking around with the team, but hopefully there's some young bucks taking over by that point.
Well, Ty, thanks for joining us. I love that handball is in the news. I'm sure you love it as well. This was PlaySqorrTV. Ty Reed. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See you later.